Hello and welcome back to Deck Pilot. This week I have Zaldin Fox's Noble Grandeur deck list. I'm going to take it for a spin on the ladder and see how it performs. Unfortunately, there's been a lot more red recently, so Noble Grandeur has suffered, but this is still a very fun deck, and hopefully Deck Pilot will give you a better idea on how to play it, because it can be quite difficult sometimes. So let's get into the games and see how I do. Match number 1, going up against Satyrus. I know Satyrus is a very good player, so this should be quite a challenging match. And we are looking for an early harvester, none of them found there. And we do get the Starkstalker, which is quite nice. And we do get Spell Whirl as well, so this could give us some additional harvesters or some additional firepower. We didn't pick up the Explore, so Darkstalker won't be played turn 1. Now we do miss a harvest, but it's more important to power up the Illusion of Grandeur with the 3-2 stats rather than getting one extra Faeria. And we're going to be able to do that with the Spell Whirl, reducing this card's cost by 2. Now, as I mentioned, red has started to show up on the ladder again. When I was playing this deck initially, red wasn't that popular. We've now started to see mono red burn, red yellow burn, and of course Crackthorn. And those decks can have they can really make it difficult for Grandeur to get set up. Rubyfish is very important because it allows us to collect Faeria from wells, which are unchallenged. And if you play against a class that doesn't have a lot of removal, these fish can stay around all game and just double harvest for you. Speak of the devil, we have a mountain. Alright, so let's Spell Whirl first. This is always, this is a fantastic card to pick up, alright. And Rubyfish is so vulnerable to Ground Shaker, it's really sad. Ground Shakers fry those fish very quickly. Before you know it's on your plate with some chips, and you have fish and chips. Darkstalker's a little bit more durable, you know, he's got 2 life, but the problem is Cypher's Raptors deal with it very easily. But Beirut should be able to have some influence. We have an Explore into a mountain, into a Ground Shake, and there we have it. Rubyfish already answered very easily. With no Cypher's Wrath, fortunately. So we're just going to do this. And then we're going to take the lake here. Stop the Axe Grinder spot, and then we'll play Beirut. We'll see if Satyrus has an answer to it. Now, if we pick up Aurora's Creation on top of that, we'll be able to Creation Beirut and just put more high life creatures down on the board, which is going to be a big struggle for a mono red. Now this could still be Crackthorn, or this could be Red Yellow Burn, and it is Red Yellow Burn. So this is a tough matchup again. They can burn you out very quickly, which is going to be a big problem. Let's take the lake. We'll take the Beirut, and then we'll pass. So Frogify is going to have to be kept exclusively for Scourge Flames. There's no way for me to kill Scourge Flames and not take damage from them unless I transform them first. So that's going to be very important in stopping damage being dealt. Now there are Emperor's Command, so healing will help, but it's usually not enough against Red Yellow Burn, just because the burst that Red Yellow Burn can dish out is really high. Like Scourge Inspector alone is very powerful, but when you start chucking training on it, when you chuck a Gift of Steel on it, the damage really starts to add up. Now Beirut's going to be a bit of a problem for Satyrus. He hasn't got access to Last Nightmare yet. He knows that if Beirut lives, it's going to transform any land he builds near it, and it's going to... he's just investing Gift of Steel and the whole Ground Shake into it, so he's valuing getting these aggressive lands in now. So I'm going to do something a little cheeky. I'm going to move this land here, and I'm going to double neutral. Now this is important for a reason, because Scourge Flame Spectres, especially Scourge Flame decks, what they want to do is they want to get land here, here, or even here if they built down the side. But let's just say for this side only. So a land here and a land here allows them to attack my orb directly with a Scourge Flame Spectre without using Flash Wind. So that's just another resource they don't have to use when trying to get some orb damage. So if you can get these two spots, it just makes life a little bit more difficult. And in all fairness, you kind of want to make life as difficult as possible for a burn player. Make them spend more resources. That's really going to help. Could have set up a Battletoads there, but I was very distracted about those lands. Ah, we're Noble Grandeur, very nice. Okay, so let's keep building land. And let's really block things off here. We'll play a Mochi as well, in case it gets killed. And Ruby Fish is gonna block any land placement here. And he's going to collect. So Satirus needs to kind of answer this, because this is going to start harvesting off my opponent's well, which is going to reduce the cost of Wave Crash Colossus. Now, I don't know how familiar Satirus is with this list. In Zaladin Fox's original list, he didn't run Wave Crash Colossus, but after testing and some discussion with him, we agreed it was a really good fit for the deck. And this is where Aurora becomes very nice. So we again have the problem of... Yeah, so we have the problem of not being able to use Frogify. So I feel like I'm happy to take a draw. Healing, excellent, okay. So now Ruby Fish is going to get stronger. He's going to be able to kill this guy. And then we pass. So we're really shutting down Satirus's options with land here more than anything. That's a second Flame Burst. That's two Flame Bursts not going to the orb. There's a Cypher's Wrath coming down, deal some damage. Another Cypher's Wrath. So just trying to make my collection as difficult as possible. We're going to start wanting to pick up some Wave Crash Colossus very soon. So I'm going to take a draw, because it reduces the cost of the Stalker. You know what? Let's start applying some pressure. Take the Stalker, and then we'll take the Battletoads. And now Satirus is very Faeria starved. But the top end of Scourge Flame needs 7 Faeria to play the Spectre. And we've already seen 2 Flame Bursts go to my creatures, which is really good, because that's not going to my orb now. So I can take into a calculation now that he only has 3 additional damage from hand. Now that doesn't include Cypher's Wrath. Cypher's Wrath will become an issue as well. Aurora's Creation. Not really what we're looking for, unfortunately. Actually, Aurora's Creation's pretty good here. Because now we're just gonna race him. That's 10 damage next turn. And I have Frogify ready for the Scourge Flame. So Scourge Flame will deal... Well, let me quickly point out as well. So this move was deliberate. So these are the 2 best spaces for Scourge Flame to come from to deal damage to me. Now he could just summon here and Flash Wind across, which is fine. But if he doesn't have a Flash Wind, let's just say he doesn't. He's being blocked. His path's being blocked. And I have an answer to this, which is great. So this should just be game. Collect. I can take a draw. I have enough Faeria to Frogify command. So yeah, we can take a draw. Nothing interesting. Take another draw. Nothing interesting. But then full health. Frogify. Clear. Command. Heal. And that should be game. Collect from an enemy well. And sure, we'll just keep pushing creatures up. I don't think it really matters at this point. I mean, there we go. Satyrus doesn't have any answer, and the key to winning that game was the land blocking. You know, making it so awkward for him to push down Scourge Flames without having flash winds, but also being able to play Beirut off the spell wheel. And the Auroras, you know, had a huge influence in winning that match. Match number 2. Let's see if we get a different matchup this time. Even though I said that it was a bad matchup, the Aurora and the Beirut just helped so much in making that matchup a little easier, and of course the land placement as well. Having to invest so much into Aurora in the early game really gave me an advantage there. Finally picked up Illusion of Grandeur. This card is interesting because it can grow really big and can get out of hand, but sometimes you don't even need it. Sometimes you can just win by overwhelming your opponent with Wave Crash Colossus, just having a flurry of creatures like Battletoads, Ruby Fish, and the Gabriel Noble. So it's not necessary to the win condition, but it's nice, you know, if you have invested a lot of cards in setting it up. And then at the end, you know, you just need that extra creature to finish things off. And it's like an 11-8. Not going to be complaining too much for a 7 Faeria 11-8 that has charge 2. So it might have some relevance here. We'll have to see. But it does sometimes rely on some good creation combos. Creation on a cost-reduced Wave Crash Colossus is amazing. You basically just give 7/7 to this straight up. But that's kind of a very long game kind of line that you might take. Creation on the Noble itself is really good as well. It does allow you to set up 5 power on this. You get 4/4 from the Noble, but you also get the 1/1 from the Ruby Fish you spawn as well. Right, we're just gonna jump here. I'm not really sure what's going on just yet, but I'm assuming it's mid-red or red rush that's rushing down the side, but we'll see. Is there ever a time I Darkstalker here? Maybe. Like, I could just draw. I don't think land mobility is going to be a big deal. I might get punished, but we'll see. I will drop a fish as well. Why not? He's already a 4/3. Things are looking good. Gonna bumping up to a 5/4 in a bit with the Ruby Fish. If this is some form of neutral rush or... Wow, okay, it's a green deck. Okay, I did not expect that. That's caught me off guard. Right, let's do this. I want to collect off my opponent's well ASAP. So let's use these two. Ruby Fish is a little stuck, unfortunately. I'm gonna set him up to double collect on this side, and then we'll get the Noble and we'll set up a fish over this side to start collecting. Now I'm not gonna play this Ruby Fish just yet because it might get stuck here. We'll have to see what Cerberus decides to develop with his 10 Faeria. It's Crackthorn? Okay, so this is just one of those openings that's a bit strange, but it's fine. So we get the quad collect this turn. It's very powerful. Do I draw a card? That's what I'm thinking. Do I draw a card to try and get, say, a Wave Crash Colossus? I think that's... Say no more, guys. Let's do it. Let's just drop that 7/7 right there and start applying pressure. I have a 5/4 illusion, which I can bump up to a 6/5. That might be pretty handy. Ground Shaker. Oh no, the fish. Into an X Grinder. Alright. Let's start off with Spell Wheel. Ooh. So good. That is so good. So we get to do this now. Frogify. Jump. Clear. Clear this. Moving. And play a Ruby Fish, who can collect on this spot next turn. If he lives. And now we have a 2-turn clock. Which he's gonna have to respect. Which may relieve some pressure off my orb now, giving me time to set some stuff up. Yeah, no, you don't race here. Surely not. I don't know about this. I guess if he has Flame Burst, he has Lethal, right? Well, okay. I'm gonna have to respect it. And play around that Flame Burst. I think he had Flame Burst. I think he went for the Flame Burst lethal. But this is just game now. Come on, show me the Flame Burst. Show me the money. Yes! Well played indeed, buddy. So there we have it. Very strange opener, but understanding that that line led to a Flame Burst win, so he felt he could win the race without Flame Burst, and luckily I had the Aurora to answer it then, because if I didn't have Aurora in that situation, I would have just lost the next turn. But well played to him. Satyrus is back for revenge in this third match. The last match was pretty quick, so I felt we could just go straight into this one. I could set a double Darkstalker with this hand. You know what, I'm gonna do it. Let's try it out. Let's see how it works out for us. It's kind of like a mini Battletoads opener. Actually, it's a little bit better in power, but worse in cards. Because Battletoads is one card. This is a 3-card opener, but costs 1 less Faeria and gives us +1 attack on each side. So yeah, we have a run back with Satyrus to finish this off, and we do know what he's playing. He is playing that red yellow burn. Boom, boom. The dream. In the last game, Shifting Tides was incredibly important in our win condition, and also Spell Wheel finding that Beirut. So I feel like if I don't Spell Wheel into something amazing this time, it gives you a more fair representation of how this matchup plays out. Since this is a very popular deck on the ladder, and I've spoken too soon, of course. Let's do it. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so Aurora say it's not too good in this situation because it's gonna, well, actually these could, wait, these were at 1 cost a moment ago, but after Spell Wheel they got reset. Okay, so it's a bit of bug testing time now. Let's see how it does. We can actually play Ruby Fish as well. Might turn into something a little better. Oh, we'll go for the chef. We'll just go all in. That was amazing, but I feel there's something wrong there. My Darkstalker should have went from a 1 cost into a 3 cost because they got cost reduced by the event I played, but they didn't, which is a big deal. So something happened that reset their power. They reset their Faeria cost, which shouldn't have happened. He gains so much stats from this Willow. Oh my goodness. I need Frogify, like, really badly now. What can I say? Sure. What can I say? I asked for a card, it gives it to me. Last game I was like, I need a Wave Crash Colossus. Have a Wave Crash Colossus. I need a Frogify. Have a Frogify. Actually, I even said I didn't want Spell Whirl, and it still gave me Spell Whirl. The game's too good to me. I'm still not in a brilliant position, to be honest. And the reason being that he can still kill me pretty easily, actually. Let's set this up for double collection. And then I'm going to clear this. I'm going to give this, and then I'm going to clear this guy. So I'm going to keep the 4-2. 4-2 might be a bit better, but this is prime time for Scourge Flame now for Satyrus. Scourge Flame is going to be very difficult for me to deal with. Simply because I'm going to take too much damage. Unlike the last game, Satyrus had to use Flame Burst defensively. This game he hasn't at all. He's been the aggressor quite convincingly. Aurora Say was nice. It's a bit cheesy, but it helped me get some breathing room at least. But if he has Scourge Flame now, I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble, especially if I don't draw an event. Because I could use this, but he's probably going to take the value clear, which I don't really blame him, to be honest, because he still pushes 6 damage from that. So I need Emperor's Command to kill this. I don't find it. Let's see what Spell Will gives us. That's not a good draw. Alright, we're already so far behind. But like I said, I feel this is a fairer representation of the matchup. Perhaps if you're playing against a lot of regular burn, adding just a Beirut in might be a good idea. Like, Beirut gives that deck a lot of trouble. And there's something I might do, actually, moving forward after this episode of Deck Doctor and Deck Pilot. An adjustment I can make to the meta. And you should always be doing that with your decks anyway. You can, once you gain more knowledge about the game, it's much easier for you to make meta adjustments. And we have a good Grandeur here, actually. I have a play. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna set up a Grandeur here. Next turn. I actually wanted to do it that turn, but I didn't watch my Faeria, so a bit of a misplay from me there. Something I can't really afford at this point against this list, but as long as Satyrus doesn't have the rest of his Scourge Flames, if the Scourge Flames are at the bottom of his deck, I still have a really good chance of coming back. But this might make him suspicious. You might be thinking, what's he got planned here? And he's looking at a Scourge Flame, maybe? Cypher's Wrath for the Ruby Fish. Takes a draw, so he's going to have to decide exactly what he wants to do. Oh, he's going to gain the Faeria from the underground. A Brute. And a Grimguard. Okay. That's definitely something I can work with. I kind of need to one-shot this. Tail the Ultimate will help, but I'll need another event to be able to do that. That's another illusion. This is not good. This is not good at all. Alright, so this probably is the end of the game. I'm gonna have to do it anyway. Yeah, that's gonna be game over. He gained 6 damage from his 2 creatures there. And I'm pretty sure he has Cypher's Wrath. Now, I could have avoided the Grimguard, I suppose, but it feels like I'm just delaying the inevitable. So I'm just gonna clear it, see if he has it, and if he has it, I've lost. But Beirut, again on the subject of Beirut could be a good addition. I'm not sure where it'd go, what slot you put it in. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look over the list again and make a consideration. And yeah, just a Flame Burst in hand. Took him a while to figure that one out. I'm only kidding. Satirus is a cool guy. But yeah, that was a good display of the decks. Sorry for Roping was AFK for a bit. There we go. So Satirus telling us what was up. But yeah, good games overall. And yeah, Satirus did get his revenge. That wraps up this episode of Deck Pilot. I hope you enjoyed it. And now that I have the list in front of me, one switch you could do is you could just drop a Rubyfish or a Darkstalker or maybe a Spellwhirl and add in that Beirut. And Beirut might make a big difference when going up against red decks. It'll help you have something quite sturdy and bulky, and you can use Aurora's Creation on it to make another cheap Beirut, which a red player is definitely going to struggle against. If you do like this video, give me a thumbs up, and of course, if you haven't already, drop a subscribe if you want to see more content from this channel. We have Deck Doctor, Deck Pilot, and Card Spotlight, along with the VODs for any monthly cup that we have. Of course, there is the hub as well, if you haven't checked it out already. If you would like to find more articles, guides, and decks from the community and myself, be sure to check out the link below me. So until next week, guys, take care, have a great day.